Alexis now coming through Ascari here and making her way down to the final corner. It looks like this is going to be a pretty decent time, but there is going to be a pretty decent lap time coming out from her. Definitely some room for improvement in here. I don't know whether the track is going to get drier or wetter, but judging by the speed that everybody came out today, I'm assuming that people are optimistic that they'll be able to set decent lap times. A 1:26.7, nice one, Alexis. Thank you for that. Here is Reg. On his intermediate tyres. It's going to be a 1:27.0 for him. A few more drivers coming in now. Koji with a 1:26.2. And then we have FFTB battering the best times with a 1:25.8. Sheehan in P3 sets a 1:26.3. And Bjarni only a 1:25.8. He's only second place for now. So could be perhaps under pressure from a few drivers in this intermediate qualifying. Magnus has done a 1:26.0. And now we have a couple of Mercedes coming up. First, Arian, who's going to do a 1:26.5 and go P6. And then John Marco goes fastest with a 1:25.6. So a lot of room for improvement for some of these drivers. Devin with a 1:25.9, Matigia with a 1:25.4, and there is a lot of improvement going on here right now. I think the track is just getting faster and faster. So in that case, let's see what Marco, one of our championship contenders so far this season, is going to be able to do here. Will he be in the 1:25s? No, it's a 1:26.1 for Marco. For now, the provisional pole time is a 1:25.4 from Matigia, but if the track improvement is to be believed, then you would expect that D-Mub is going to better that time. That said, it doesn't look like he's currently on for that. So as he comes to the line, he is in the 1:25s, but it's only a 1:25.6, which puts him P3. As a result, a little bit of a snap on the exit of the corner there, and that might deny him getting the fastest time. As he comes to the line, it's a 1:25.5. I think without that snap, we would have seen Sheehan take provisional pole there. I think we just saw someone else cross the line there as well. Was that Bourbon that just started? No, I think it was maybe Reg. No, I have no idea who that was. Am I stupid? That's fine. This is all getting cut out of the video. D-Mub, nice run through Ascari there. Just went a little bit wide, perhaps, on the exit, but it shouldn't cost him too much time. And he is up on his best time so far. Only 5/10 off of Matigia at the moment, as that is Oliver Broadford setting a 1:24.9. So the first driver into the 1:24s by 1,000th of a second. But here comes D-Mub across the line. It's only a 1:25.1, and he will not better Oliver Broadford's time. Alexis goes fastest with a 1:24.8. Welcome to Streamers & Co. Provisional pole for now. I think the rain has actually stopped now by the looks of things. So, in fact, yes, Matigia is out on the soft compound tyres. So, maybe, just maybe, we might be about to see a dry end to this session. D-Mub, Broadford and Koji, all three of those did not make it to the line, so they will not be competing for pole position today. A bit of a disappointment, but I did wonder if this was going to happen with everybody waiting as long as they possibly could to get out. That looked like Raza cut the track there. I think he was very lucky to get away with that one. But yeah, this means that it's turned into a 14-car fight for pole position. The last three drivers that you see will not be setting lap times here today. Everybody else, look how close together on the track some of these cars are as well. This could be absolutely anyone's. I think it is going to come down to two things: who has space and who has the pace. Here comes Raza crossing the line, 1:21.0. There's the benchmark. Who can beat that? Next car to come to the line is going to be Arian. Let's see what kind of lap time this is going to be. Is he going to beat it? Yes, goes fastest by 6/10. Next up, we've got a Kick Sauber. Magnus, 1:19.8. Next up, we have... I don't know who that was. I think it must have been validated. Marco, 1:19.5, sets the next benchmark. Then we have Reg, 1:19.3. He goes faster once again. We've got a Red Bull now coming up. That is Devin, who doesn't improve. And all of a sudden, everyone's raking it in. Bjarni Olsen, 1:19.2, sets the fastest lap time so far, but we've still got a few drivers yet to come. Alexis puts it P6 with a 1:19.8, and I think that's everyone now. That was hectic. But Bjarni Olsen, when it all comes down to it, is still the man. Bjarni Olsen with that pole position. What a performance from him. In the end, only 10 drivers managed to get a lap time in on those softs. Everyone was pushing super hard. Everyone was so close together. And it is a 1:19.2 that will be your pole position here from Bjarne Olsen. He will be joined on the front row by Reg. Matidja and FFTB will line up on row 2 with Marco and John Marco lining up together on row 3. Alexis on her debut takes P7 ahead of Magnus. And then we have Arian and Raza, the rest of the soft compound runners. And then Dima, Broadford, Sheehan, Devon, Koji, Optic, and Bourbon fails to set a lap. And here we go, ready on the grid for the race to start as the lights come on. And the lights go out, and Bjarne gets away nicely off of the line, away from Regmeister, and Matidja already up into P2. Looks like Reg had a bit of a slow start there, and Matidja, Marco's teammate, is already up into P2. He is going to be the one that is going to want to put the pressure on Bjarne Olsen. Does everyone negotiate turn 1 cleanly? Looked like there was a bit of damage there and a bit of contact. Who is the driver that is suffering from that? It looks like it is none other than D-Mub. Let's have a look at that front wing. And doesn't look like he got any damage there. Maybe just slightly got tapped there. But I'm sure somebody got some damage there. So I'm just going to have a quick look and see who it was. I can't see any damage on anyone, though. So, yeah. No, turn 1 was all right. Turn 2, it was not fantastic, unfortunately. Either way, here is Bjarne Olsen leading at the moment from Matidja. And John Marco has been given a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and not giving the position back. And that is very unfortunate for a man who qualified very high up in this race. I believe he was P6 in qualifying. He will be absolutely devastated with that 10-second penalty. And because we have mandatory pit stops, unfortunately, he is going to be serving that no matter what. So he will not be able to get that removed. Really unfortunate. But Matidja now making the move on Bjarne Olsen up into P1 here. Matidja leading the race off of turn 1, gets past him in Parabolica. Will Bjarne fight him back down into that first chicane? Bjarne to the inside, Matidja to the outside, and Bjarne thinks better of it as Alexis dives down the inside of John Marco there, and I think makes a bit of contact with him possibly, but she is up into P4 either way. I don't know if she'll have to give that position back due to the contact there possibly, and indeed she does give that position back. I think that was probably a good decision to avoid a push to pass penalty there, even though John Marco has that 10 seconds. Right now, let's have a look at the tyres that everybody is on, because Matidja, not only has he got past Bjarne, but he's actually breaking away from him as well. Everybody except Sheehan, though, has started on those medium compound tyres, so I don't know if Bjarne's got damage, or whether he's just being very conservative on his tyres and waiting for Matidja's tyres to die off a little bit, but he's almost fallen out of that DRS range of Matidja now. He needs to be careful, or he could find himself coming under a lot of pressure from Reg. This is a track that is all about tyre wear. Literally everything about this race all comes down to who can hold on to those tyres for a very long time, because you need to. These mediums need to go at least 12 laps. If there was damage to anyone, it looks like it was purely cosmetic, because as we make our way now onto lap 4, it doesn't seem like it's affecting anybody to the point that they are going to lose out any position or anything like that. Sheehan holding his own on those hard compound tyres. He will have a stint as the race leader later on in the race, barring any safety cars, because he is going to be on those hards when everybody else is going to be on those mediums. FFTB up into P5 meanwhile, gets ahead of Alexis there, but it looks like she might be fighting him back down into turn 1. Is she going to go for that move down the inside, just in the background? It looks like she will, but can she hold on around the outside of FFTB? There looks like there was a bit of contact there once again between the two drivers, but I think Alexis this time has made the move, and I don't think she's necessarily under an obligation to give that one back like she was with the John Marco move. I think that one was a bit more 50-50. Here comes Marco, though, looking for a move on Alexis, and I think right now Alexis may be holding up a little bit of a train of her own. She needs to get back into touch with John Marco into the DRS zone, or she is going to be a sitting duck to some of these drivers on the main straight. So she has not very long now to get back into that DRS range. I think she might just miss out, to be honest with you, and this might potentially cause a bit of a split in the train here. Alexis, who you would imagine now is just going to be under a lot of pressure from the cars behind. So let's see how well she can do at defending this position. I think she's going to lose at least 2 places here, if not more. First goes through Marco. Alexis now moving to the inside of the corner. Is FFTB going to go for the move? No, he's not. And as a result, Alexis only actually loses 1 position there. So I think she'll be pretty happy with that. Meanwhile, it looked like Arian got up past Magnussen into P9 as well. And, yeah, it is going to be Matigia still leading this race. As we have a yellow flag, and it's for D-Mob, unfortunately. I think he's had another moment, a bit of a spin into turn one. And, yeah, for all the fantastic performances he puts in qualifying, he just can't seem to quite hook it up in race trim at the moment. The corner cutting warnings coming in early for people here today. We don't want to race decided on penalties. Matigia coming into the pit lane already, almost certainly committing himself to the two-stop here today. There is no way that he's going to be able to take a set of hards 21 laps around this circuit. So Matigia, the first driver who we can say for certain is doing a two-stop. I think D-Mob, if he's changing that front wing, will probably be doing the same as well. So Bjarne Olsen inherits the lead of the race, and now, is it time for him to just think about checking out of this race potentially? I think we've just seen another driver dive in, and that is Reg, which is going to promote John Marco with his 10-second penalty up into P2, but not for long, because here comes Marco down the inside into the first corner. Who's going to be ahead at the apex? I think it was just Marco round the outside, manages to stay ahead, and he will be up into P2. So the order as things stand at the moment when John Marco's penalty is applied is going to boost Alexis, our debutant in the Alpine, up into P3 as things stand at the moment. And will she be able to keep some cars like FFTB and Razzo behind her? We'll have to wait and see. I certainly think she's capable, but she could really benefit from getting back into that DRS of John Marco. I think the majority of cars we will now see coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap, but if there's anyone that I reckon is going to stay out, it will be Bjarne, because that's just the kind of guy he is. He likes a situation where he has a tyre offset to everybody else in his favour, and he can then start making moves through the field. We've seen it multiple times this season. I think we'll probably see it again. Marco, once again, pitting early to try and get the undercut. We've seen this story so many times this season. Marco pits early for the undercut, Bjarne stays out later for the fresher tyres, and in the end, it always favours Bjarne. Will we see the same thing here today? Will we see Bjarne diving into the pit lane at the end of this lap, or is he going to go around once again on those medium compound tyres? And it looks like he is coming in on lap 11, where he is going to be taking hard compound tyres 16 laps to the end of the race. I think they'll be very comfortable doing that. Meanwhile, John Marco coming in, he'll be serving his 10-second penalty, so I'll be interested to see where he comes out. Broadford comes in as well. He won't be too impeded on his strategy because ultimately Bjarne was very far up the road. There will be a little bit of a break there, but it shouldn't be too long for Broadford. Meanwhile, John Marco still not moving. Broadford literally came in, did his entire pit stop, and has got ahead of John Marco before John Marco actually had his pit stop done as well. Looks like Koji came in, and he's done his pit stop as well. John Marco comes out in P14 after almost everybody is boxed now. Really, really disappointing. If Optic, Arian, or Bourbon Boy goes around again, then, well, we need to start getting some tyre-saving classes from them. But here they are, all coming into the pit lane, all of them getting stopped on their marks. I don't think we saw any pit lane speeding penalties there, so really impressive from those guys. But here is Sheehan now, and he will be out in front for a little bit in this race. Matigia and Reg, we're pretty sure committed to those two stops. They are just on such older tyres already. I don't think those extra 3-4 laps are going to work in their favour. I think they're going to have to do two stops here. Everybody else should be going to the end in this race, with the exception of Sheehan, of course, who is the only driver on that hard medium, just enjoying the cruising out in front. I said that he'd probably take the lead in this race, so what he's got to hope for is that the likes of Marco and Bjarne, Marco, by the way, who did come out ahead of Bjarne, as I suspected he might, he's got to hope that they get stuck behind Reg and Matigia for a little bit before those two come in for their final pit stops onto, you would imagine, another set of hard compound tyres around here. Alexis, Magnus and FFTB are all battling fiercely over P7 on track at the moment. Will Alexis have enough in the tank to hold these drivers off here? Amazingly, she actually does. And now I think we'll start to see her close down on Razza potentially. Is she taking too much life out of those tyres too early to try and keep these drivers behind? Matigia and Sheehan coming to the pit lane. Razza has retired in the pit lane as he's had enough in this race. That is going to promote Alexis up into net P3, but is she coming under a bit of pressure there from Magnus? Again, not quite close enough in order to make this move work. There is a big fight on here, I think, for the final podium position here today, and it could go the way of any one of these drivers. I think Marco and Bjarne are dead certs for P1 and 2. I don't know in what order. It's going to be very interesting between those two, but the position in P4 could be anybody's. Could be absolutely anybody's yet. Reg does come into the pit lane once again onto, you would imagine, another set of hard compound tyres, and that is going to promote Alexis up into P3 ahead of Magnus, FFTB, Arian. Look at the squabble that is going on here behind, and FFTB, just for one moment, looked like he might go for a move on Arian. Thinks better of it for the time being. How long are we going to see this battle go on? FFTB has had a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Optic, and I don't know what happened here, but yeah, it looks like they must have crashed into each other, and it looks like that the game judged at least that was FFTB's fault. If he's got damage, he will need to pit, of course, to change that front wing once again, but the only way that he won't serve that 10-second time penalty in the pits is if he doesn't pit again. Both FFTB and Optic have retired, so only 12 drivers left in this race, which means we're going to see big points for basically everybody who does finish this race. Remember that everybody who finishes the race in Streamers & Co. scores points for the championship, so anything is better than nothing, especially if you're fighting for the Constructors' Championship. You want whatever you can get. Yellow flags down the main straight means that Bjarni won't be able to overtake here, and it looked like that was the time that he might actually have been close enough to do it. So yeah, really, really disappointing for Bjarni there, that the yellow flags kind of screwed him, but I wonder how much longer he will be able to hold on to this position. The gap as they go through Parabolica now is only 0.2 of a second, and I think we're about to see a change for the lead here at Monza. As they come through Parabolica down onto the main straight, Bjarni Olsen is going to have the DRS to Marco. The gap is only 0.4 of a second. Bjarni Olsen moves to the inside, and he's going to go for a move down into turn 1. Is Marco going to fight this back? He's going to have the outside line. It'll give him the inside line for the next corner, but Bjarni is already ahead by the time they get there. What about Alexis and Arian? Arian not close enough to make the move this time. Alexis only has a few more laps left to defend from these guys. 3 more chances to overtake into turn 1 for Arian if he wants that final spot on the podium. Marco's still in that DRS range, but is he close enough to go for a move into turn 1? I'm just not sure that he is. But somebody who I do think is definitely close enough to go for a move here as they come through Parabolica is Arian. Look how close he is now to the back of Alexis. She's given it everything, but I just don't think it's quite been enough here today for Alexis to hold on to this podium position. She is going to do everything she can. She's defending nicely to the inside. Is Arian going to get close enough? She's trying to break the slipstream from him, and in the end, she moves over to the outside of the corner just in the nick of time to stop Arian from going through there, and now she only has to defend that 2 more times. Look at the size of the train that she is building up behind her. It extends all the way back, arguably, to Bourbon Boy, who's now getting in that DRS train as well. How is she going to fare trying to hold on to this position for 2 more laps? Here comes Arian. Looked like he was going down the inside. Can't quite make it. Broadford and Arian now wheel to wheel, and it looked like they were potentially going off the track there. Somehow they all stay on it through there, but Arian has lost out massively through there as Broadford gets himself through up into P4, and all of a sudden it's looking like the man who I didn't really think had much stake in getting this podium is suddenly going to turn it into 2 Ferraris on the podium once again if he can get past Alexis in P3. But only 2 laps left to go here. Broadford has to get it done sooner rather than later. Marco is close. Is he close enough to go for a move? They're going to run through Parabolica here. Marco's going to lose a bit of time to Bjarni through there, of course, following in the dirty air. It's always difficult. How much battery have each driver saved up in order to fight this at the final lap? Marco closing and closing and closing, but is he closing fast enough? He's looking for a move to the inside, but he's just not quite close enough in the end. 0.2 of a second separates them, but it wasn't close enough. How is Alexis doing meanwhile? She's coming under pressure from Broadford. Is Broadford going to be close enough to go for this move into turn 1? He is going to look down the inside to the outside. Not quite. He couldn't make up his mind. Was Alexis weaving there? I couldn't quite tell. But either way, she has held on to the position, and now all she has to do is keep it clean through the final few corners, and she will make herself a podium finisher on debut in Streamers & Co. Division 1. Absolutely phenomenal performance from Alexis. Broadford looking for a move around the outside into the next chicane, but Alexis keeping it with him. He has to give her space. They're going wheel to wheel all the way through the next couple of corners, and still wheel to wheel through here as well. Alexis fighting for space. Broadford fighting her back. This is a proper scrap between these 2 drivers. Who is going to come out on top of this one? We have to keep an eye on the fight for the lead here. They're about to cross the line. They've only got 1 more corner to go, but I don't want to take my eyes off this fight for P3 because Alexis is somehow holding on to this Broadford is practically pushing her through every single corner. How much battery has she got to hold on to this? Surely she can't hold on all the way down this straight and into Parabolica. Is Broadford going to go for a move? He's looking to the outside, but is Alexis going to defend? Bjarne Olsen wins the race from Marco. Alexis defending, and it's going to be Broadford coming around the outside. She's got Matigia to the inside as well, who she needs to focus on. Who's going to get to the line first here? Is it going to be Alexis? Yes! Alexis gets a podium on her debut. What a battle between those guys. Oh my goodness. What a fight between Alexis and Broadford there. Arian will end up P5 with Bourbon in P6. Matigia's penalties push him down into P7. Devon in P8, she in P9, and Reg will be the last of the top 10 finishers in P10. What a scrap between there. I'm sure there will be some people with some choice words to say about that, and I don't envy the work that the stewards are going to have to do after this race. I need to lie down after that one. Oh my goodness. So yeah, just to go through your whole field, it was Bjarne from Marco from Alexis, Broadford in P4, Arian P5, Bourbon P6, Matigia P7, Devon P8, she in P9 on those medium compound tyres at the end. He does set the fastest lap. Reg in P10, John Marco P11, and Magnus in P12. And then Optic, FFTB, Koji, Raza, and D-Mub all had DNFs for incidents that happened during the race. And Broadford does win the fight for driver of the day in the end. So congratulations to Broadford, who is our driver of the day. But congratulations also to Alexis, to Arian, to Bjarne, who also had fantastic races here today. I love how finishing P1 now, qualifying on pole and finishing P1 isn't even enough for Bjarne to get a vote for driver of the day. Never mind getting driver of the day. Nobody even votes for him anymore because it's just what they expect. Well, congratulations, Bjarne. You've done a great job. I'm super impressed with the performance you've put up. As for now, that is going to be everything from me. I've been your host, and I'm in love with commentating in this league, man. I can't even lie to you. I've had such a blast doing it. It's so much fun every single time, and I really just can't wait to see what the future holds for Streamers & Co.